It's Chris from L3D here, and today we are going to show you how to engrave an image and text onto an anodized stainless steel hip flask. This looks absolutely brilliant. It makes a great premium gift. You can sell them, you can gift them, you can keep it for yourself, but either way, this process will work through any image, any text. So if you'd like to learn the full process from setup on the xTool F2 all the way through xTool Studio, all the way to the actual engraving, stick around. I will share absolutely everything with you and you will be able to do this in no time. We are using a black anodized hip flask. These are a very generic blank that you can get from most wholesaler and retail websites. They're fairly cheap. They come in different sizes. You can also get silver stainless steel versions. And I wanted to just make you aware of something. So you can see the shape of these. It is a curved surface. With this particular one here, I actually did a bit of testing beforehand using xTool Studio's curved surface mode. And I have to say I wasn't too happy with the results. It left a lot of lines. I think it's where the laser ultimately increases and decreases its height as it's engraving, and it leaves a number of marks behind. So for this, we're going to be obviously engraving onto our black anodized one. We are going to be doing a normal flat engraving, but I have tried it and I am confident it will still work well. That's what we'll be doing for this. You can see mine is actually a little bit scratched up, but it shouldn't make a difference. But what I would always recommend when using anodized metal and metal in general is get yourself a 99.9% isopropyl alcohol, give it a spray, and then give it a wipe with some kind of lint-free paper towel. That will give you a nice clean surface to make sure that you're going to get the best engraving possible. We will be laying it flat onto the bed just like that. And what I am now going to do, as you'll see, you can see it's out of focus. I am going to focus the laser to the top surface using the manual method. You can also plug in the controllers directly from your F1 Ultra or your F2 Ultra. You can manually adjust it using the arrows on that. However, because I know everyone has this method, I will show you that. So we're going to be turning it clockwise and it will be making the laser head move up, thus joining our dots together. And then once joined together, we know that laser is now focused to the top surface. Let's move on to xTool Studio. So here we are back in xTool Studio and we're going to be clicking the new project button in the top right. So as I mentioned, we're going to be engraving an image onto this and text. So I'm going to give you two sets of settings. I'll be giving you image settings to engrave an image onto this, and I'll also be giving you text settings. And at this point, I just want to say, if you enjoy the content and you want to support the channel, please subscribe and like and comment down below. It all really helps and I do appreciate it. So let's move on. As you can see, by default, xTool Studio will take a picture of your workspace on the xTool F2. My blank is a little bit off center at the moment. That's okay, we can adjust that in a minute. We're just going to use it for rough placement. We always manually frame. There is also a new satisfaction window that's just popped up. I'm going to close that down for now. So the first thing I'm going to do in this case is I'm going to set my material to a similar material to what we're using, and there is a very good reason for this. I know for a fact black anodized, so I am going to put black metal, actually no, black anodized aluminium. We're going to go with this one as our general setting material here. So we've gone with black anodized aluminium. We are now going to import our image into this. And what I want to show you first is I always like to remove a background on an image, and what I've used for that is I use something called Adobe Express. And you can see the link here, and here is the image we'll be using. It wasn't like that at the start. Let me talk you through the process. So this is Adobe Express. You can sign up to this website, but the actual background remover is free up to this point. Click on Remove Background, select your image, and you will see the image right here. And what it will do is it will automatically remove the background as I've done there. And all you need to do at this point is click Download. And you'll see up there, it has done it. This is an image I generated in ChatGPT using AI. You can do it yourself. I know it's a very controversial subject using ChatGPT. In this case, I just wanted to give you guys a really cool contrasting image. So I've generated that image in ChatGPT. If you want to know the prompt, let me know in the comments. I can share it with you. So what we'll do now is we will open up our xTool Studio again, and we will import that downloaded image with the lack of background right there. And you can see that's coming nicely. So I've gone for this because we've got a hip flask. I wanted to go for a really cool, unique vintage look. And this is the image I came up with. So we've got our image imported. I actually want to add a mask into it now just to cut this down a little bit. And I am going to do actually, we're going to try this a different way. We're going to right click on it. We're going to click create mask. This is a new way xTool have brought in here. And I quite like it because ultimately it allows you to easily just drag in a shape without having to manually draw it. And in this case, it's locked the aspect ratio. So as I try to drag it, you'll see it'll keep it in one place. Click that little box there to be able to drag it down manually. And actually what you can do now is you can manually adjust this to whatever you want it to be with it actually in place. And I quite like that. And I think in this case, I'm going to keep the map in there. I think that looks good. So I'm going to click done. And there you go. We've got our image on there now looking really good. So I'll resize it. I'll make it bigger. And now we're going to go back to adjusting the image so it's optimized and it engraves the right way. Now you'll see at the start, we obviously added it as a black anodized aluminium. There is a very good reason for this. So what we'll do now is select your image, click on adjust, and you will see on the left, there are a number of image adjustment toggles. We are actually going to leave those alone at the moment, and we are going to click auto adjust. And what will happen now is it will automatically, using its AI features, adjust the image, adjust the contrast, adjust the brightness, all of those sharpnesses, and it will recognize the image and the base of the color it's engraving onto, and it should optimize the image to be engraved. It's not foolproof, but it does a pretty good job if I'm honest with you. So let's click auto adjust. And as you can see, it's automatically inverted the image. And if you're not aware, if you're engraving onto a dark surface like this, you need to invert the image and flip the colors, because otherwise it will come out looking like a back to front negative image. We don't want that. We actually want it to look like this because when it engraves, it will actually look the right way. So there you go. We've got our image on there. The next thing we want to do, I want to actually add some text onto this. This is a hip flask. Let's assume it's going to be for like a present for someone or something like that. We want something a bit majestic, a bit cool, a bit adventurous that goes with this image. We're going to put the journey. We're going to click engrave, and I'm just going to make it approximately the right size. And what I will do is you'll see like a little icon here. If you click that and drag, you can actually make it curved, and we are going to slightly curve it. I always like doing this. I always think it looks nice. And then I'm going to change the font as well. So I'm going to click on Arial. And then there are a number of different fonts. Let's find a good one. So I'm going to be going with Adamina. You can see it here. It's in the recommended section. I'll click that. I just like it. I think it goes with the vintage look of the actual image. We're going to put it there. And then what I'm going to do, I'm just going to Control C and press Control V, which will copy and paste it. And then we are also going to drag the bottom bit up a little bit so that it matches that curve at the top. And I am going to put never ends. So here you go. Our Flask is saying the journey never ends. We've got an explorer. He's got a map. He's got his watch. That's the kind of image we're going for here. So let's position it all. We want it all straight down the line. We want a vertical line up here. So select everything and click on the align box and do it on. So we want to align it down the center. So in this case, it's called horizontal align center. And then we're going to then drag it to the actual center of the laser position. And you'll know when you're there because you get a line coming down the middle. Hopefully you can see it there. And we're going to adjust it centrally on all parts. And I think that gives us an image and a cool hip flask that will ultimately look really cool. So we've got our design. We're happy with that. What we need to do now is apply our material settings. So we're going to go back over to material, and I'm going to select a pre-selected material I've set up. If you're not sure how to do that, check out my tutorials. I have a definitive guide showing you how to do that. In this case, I've got an F2 black anodized aluminium setup right there. I've also got a vector image or text setting that is going to give. What I will say is because we adjusted it on a different material, it's going to say, do you want to auto adjust and update? Click no on that because we are happy that the material we used as our base material is good enough. And then over here, I have set up a text one, and you're going to see we're using the infrared light, 90% power, 800 speed, and 200 lines per centimeter. What I would say is we can put crosshatch on, which crosshatch basically means it's going to go down and then across. That gives it an extra clean engrave. On the text, because it's spanning the whole width of the curved surface, I am actually going to click crosshatch on this. You can also adjust the engraving angle and stuff. We don't need to do that. In terms of the image, so on previous videos, I've shown you these settings. I've got a photo engraving setting for a family or individual portrait. So in this case, we are going to be going for individual portrait, which is a setup I already have. And it's going to be 89 dot duration, 95 power, and 510 DPI. as well as Jarvis bitmap mode. So the next thing we need to do, now that we've got our design set up and we're happy with it, we need to frame it, straighten up the hip flask, and make sure that we're happy with how it looks before we engrave. So to actually frame, we've got two elements in this. What I recommend in this case as the best thing to do is to click on the arrow down here, increase your light power to 10 because we want it to be bright enough that we can see it on the actual flask. It's a dark surface, so it might not contrast very well. And in this case, I'm going to keep it rectangular. So it's going to give us a rectangular box around the whole of the design, not just the text, not just the image, the whole thing. That will allow me to, at the very least, line it up in the right position that I need. So let's click on frame right here, and then we'll move over and we'll check it out. We can see the bounding box, and what we're going to do is we're just going to adjust this so that it looks like it's central. I want it to be centrally located on the X and Y axis of this. And I think that looks pretty good. We're going to move forward with that. Okay, so we've framed it. We are happy with it. What we're going to do now is process the design. We're literally going to hit process. We're not going to do any special processing. You can see for the preview, it uninverts the image so it looks normal. That will give us a good idea of how it's going to come out. So let's click start. 3 minutes 45, nice and quick, especially for such a big design. Let's see how it comes out. One thing I just want to make clear before we start is safety first. If I wasn't recording it, I would close the lid down and show you it that way. However, I am going to be keeping it up so you can actually watch the engraving. I will be wearing laser safety glasses once I start the engraving. And with anodized aluminium in particular, it produces lots of fine little particles and flakes. So make sure you have extraction for this because it can get a little bit dusty. Also, it can make your lens a bit dirty as well. So make sure you have that ready to go. So there you go. Let's kick off the engraving and see how this turns out. We have an absolutely brilliant finish on this. So the text has come out so well, it's super shiny, looks good. And the image itself also is really contrasting, shows all of the detail. This would make such a great gift for a groomsman or a friend or just for yourself. I'm sure you'll agree, this is an absolutely stunning finish on this one. So there you have it, guys. We've got our finished hip flask and it came out absolutely amazing. I'm really, really blown away by this one. Hopefully you've gained something. Hopefully you've learned something. If you have, please like and subscribe to the channel. Please comment down below and let me know your thoughts. I always love reading them. We have a great community online of xTool F2 owners and the xTool F series. So check out those Facebook links in the description as well. And also, if you would like to buy an xTool F2, we also have our own affiliate links down below. So if you want to support the channel, please feel free to use those. So thank you once again. This has turned out absolutely amazingly. Have a great day and I'll see you again soon.